Okay, everybody. Now, I'm going to do this one here is using other materials that are available instead of the freestanding shelter. If you're in an area with forest, or this could even represent a deck, or a wooden crate, or an old car. All right. What I'm talking about here is that you can use virtually anything to make this basic shelter. Right. You need a ridge pole, of course. Now you can use rope for your ridge pole, but I've never been a big fan of it. Now, I basically, all I'm going to do here is wedge this in here if we need to, right? I'm not even going to tie it. No need to. Again, depending on the materials you have, you can put cardboard. You can put virtually anything down to get your body off the ground. Spruce boughs, get 6 or 8 inches, you're up off the ground. Put a foot of leaves, whatever you can do to get yourself up off the ground. That ground will suck the heat from you like nobody's business. And then you have your ridge pole, right? Now, I'm going to turn this over because it's smoother on that side. Now, this shelter is a long, complicated shelter, right? Like, I mean, this is going to take me, I don't know, I did the short. We'll just assume that we have boughs and stuff down here. I want to close this end off, but I'm going to have to do that with material. So anyway, I'll close this end off with boughs, whatever. I may even cover this with boughs to add the heat in. There's the shelter. It's that simple. Is it beautiful? No. But I guarantee you, you're going to be dry in there. You can get out of the wind here. You block up the back end here, right? Or you cut this off here and drop it right down. The wind is not going to come in, right? You have boughs, you have whatever keeping you up off the ground. Like, you saw how long it took. It doesn't take a long time to do a shelter like this. I see guys going with these elaborate rope tricks and stuff like this. This one I didn't even use rope. It's just existing materials that are on the ground. And I mean, you can use rock, you can use any materials. I can't stress that enough. You can do this in the city, you can do it in the country. A bit hard to do it on the prairie since they don't have that. But in the prairie, you find a dip in the ground, and then you do your shelter from there. You may have to cut up sods and build it up that way, right? But even on the prairie, you have options, right? In a city, man, a city is so easy to shelter in. It's not funny. Like, I'm talking about sheltering outside. There's so much stuff there to use, right? I mean, you could build this out of cardboard. You could build this out of garbage bins, right? Materials, I just happened to use the tarp because I had the tarp lying around. And like I said, this is not pretty. But, you know, if you look inside here, right, and I haven't looked inside, but, you know, just run the camera in there. There's plenty of room in there to keep you dry, right? And of course, it all depends on how tall you are. And, you know, how much time you want to spend. The reason I do shelters like this is when I was in the military, right, and in Eastern Canada, you do a lot of bush warfare, what they call bush warfare. And so you're advancing in this stuff, and you're doing an advance to contact, whatever, or you're on a recce patrol, and, you know, you move, and about just at twilight, you go into your hide. Right? So you have to go and you got to clear your hide. You got to do a sweep of the area, right, to make sure it's clear. Then you go in, you set up your fire position. Then you get to build your shelter for the night, right? So you never had a lot of time to build a shelter, but you had to be dry because we operated in all weathers, right? So, you know, if you're operating in all weathers and you have to be dry, and you don't have a lot of time to do elaborate shelters, this is what you do, right? It's not fucking rocket science. A lot of people make things really complicated. It's, you know, survival's not complicated. It's just knowing different things to do. If you're out in this kind of stuff, and like here, the weather can close in a half an hour. I mean, it's beautiful sunny day. A half an hour from now, we could be in a miserable rainstorm or a snow and sleet storm. So if you're out there, you've got to get under cover, right? And it doesn't matter what the cover is. And the beauty about something like that, man, you can do that. You can have your little fire going in front, you know, nothing too elaborate, right? But you can be, and the thing is, as long as, but you got to remember, and I can't stress this enough, you've got to be off the ground, right? Because, man, I'm telling you, and I don't care about the materials you use, but spruce boughs are great, or you know, fir boughs are better because spruce boughs will stick you. Pine boughs, any of the evergreen stuff is great. The leaves are great. Grass is great. Anything to get that body out and trap air between you and the ground. You know, that ground is, you know, at best of times is only 50 degrees. Right? I mean, we've all sat on the ground in the summertime, and all of a sudden your arse is cold, right? Sitting on the ground, and the ground is cold. And but, you know, get yourself off the ground, get the rain off your body. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It's that quick. And another thing, everybody who goes out into the wilderness has to take a means of shelter. If you're just going out for a picnic with your girlfriend or with your family, take a chunk of plastic, take a small tarp. It doesn't have to be elaborate. You know, you can make something like that and you can put 4 people in that, right? 5 people, right? It's going to be awful crowded, but you'll be warm, toasty, and dry. And that's what you want, right? You'd have to expand that with that, what I'm talking about is that tarp. You'd have to expand it out. But I've seen elaborate stuff. Got some guys in the military would spend 2 hours doing their shelter. Not me. Man, I wanted to get down. I mean, you're exhausted, right? Because you're hoofing it. And, I mean, you're on a long patrol, and you're going all day. And you want to get, and, you know, you're going to be on sentry duty at 2 o'clock in the stinking morning, right? So you want to get sleep, you know, when you're doing this, you want to get sleep, and you want to be dry, right? Because there's nothing worse than humping a wet sleeping bag, right? Yeah, that yeah, the sleeping bags, those those down sleeping bags we used, they were great until they got wet, and then once they got wet, they didn't keep you warm, and oh yeah, and they weighed 10 times as much as normal. So, you know, simple shit like this. Like I said, I didn't even use string on this. All I had was the tarp. You can, as I said before, you can use anything as long as it keeps the rain off. You'd be amazed how good cardboard is for keeping rain off. Winos use it all the time. Well, I shouldn't say winos. Homeless people use cardboard all the time, right? They live in cardboard, and you say to yourself, well, how do they do that? They're experts at this. You're in a major city, and you're looking at street people living in a cardboard box. Look at their design. They're living in that year-round. Pretty impressive stuff. But anyway, till the next time.